Dawn signals not just a new day, but the opening of a chase that has no stopping point. Here, victory belongs not to the fastest runner, but to the one who never stops. Each member takes its turn on the pursuit, shortening the distance to the prey step by step. When the legs begin to slow, the outcome of the hunt is all but decided. What has helped them maintain one of the highest hunting success rates in Africa? The sun has not yet risen, and already a wildebeest is diligently grazing the dew-soaked tufts of grass, its ears turning slightly, its tail flicking away flies in perfect leisure. Suddenly, from the west rises the sound of pounding footsteps, not one, but many. The sound is light, quick, and most frightening of all, every one of them falls in a single shared rhythm. It stops chewing and lifts its head toward the sound. The grass on the far side stirs, then shudders more and more strongly. From among those blades, more than a dozen round heads emerge. African wild dogs, with ears round as two fans, black eyes, long legs, and coats mottled in 3 colors. The whole pack holds its formation, aiming straight at it and charging in. This hunt was agreed upon by the whole pack beforehand. They decide by sneezing, each sneeze a vote, and this morning the eyes reach their number very early. The wildebeest shoots off like an arrow, running straight east at 65 kilometers an hour. In the opening stretch, every stride tips in its favor. The wild dogs make no attempt to outrun the prey in speed. They simply hold one unchanging pace, for what decides the hunt is not who is faster, but who lasts longer. The male who had been leading the group now begins to drop back into the middle of the pack, yielding the front position. A female moves up to take over, her steps still full of strength. The shift has just been changed. Then the path ahead opens onto an unexpected chance. A dense herd of wildebeest is grazing, and that exhausted body instantly races toward it. It shoves in among the herd, hiding behind hundreds of identical backs. The hunters can no longer tell which is their own prey. The trail is as good as lost. The pack stands right at the herd's edge. Amid that forest of hooves, their small bodies could not survive a single kick. So the whole pack merely stands outside, patiently watching. But giving up has never been part of their instinct. The lead male leads one group around the right, the lead female takes another to the left, and the rest cut off the rear. Once the 3 prongs are in position, a chorus of barking rises up, engulfing the herd. The buffalo herd shatters instantly, the solid mass dissolving into groups scattering in panic. The moment the herd breaks apart, the flagging one is left behind. Amid hundreds of bodies tearing along, the slowest runner shows up plain as day, like a scratch on a pane of glass. In just an instant, the whole pack has reacquired its original target. The prey is now many times wearier. For the past 2 kilometers gave it not a single second to catch its breath. The pack switches positions again. Another female taking over the lead with legs still fresh. The prey, though, is still the same one. 80 meters, then 60. The ring is closing. Then a dry stream appears, cutting across the running path. The wildebeest plunges straight down, its long legs wading across. Reaching the bank, it glances back, placing its faith in the water. Only this species is well accustomed to wetlands. The pack plunges into the stream, parts the water to cross, and when they climb the far bank, their formation is as intact as before. Seeing the whole pack cross with its pace unbroken, that fragile hope dissolves along with the water. It runs again, but its 4 soaked legs are now heavy as lead. In the shade of an acacia 100 meters off, 2 lionesses are stretched out at rest. Their eyes follow the chase crossing through their territory. Leaving their cool resting spot, the 2 lionesses dash straight out onto the grassland. The exhausted wildebeest is not the target. What brought them to their feet is the pack absorbed in the chase. The lead male turns his head, senses the danger, and sends out 2 barks. It is a signal. The formation instantly splits in 2. Part of the pack takes on the task of blocking, while the rest continues to track the target. On the same patch of grass, 2 jobs are carried out in parallel. The barking rises, and the distance is always kept just right. This is a harassment tactic. No confrontation, bonmanen confrontation, only wearing the opponent down by forcing it to constantly wheel about. The lions lunge forward, but strike only empty air. They are many times stronger. Only their turning radius is too wide, while the wild dogs dodge far too fast. In the end, the energy calculation tips toward giving up, and the 2 lionesses turn away. The blocking group then catches up to the part of the pack ahead, continuing the hunt. And at that very moment, the pack drops its running pace entirely. They shift to walking, simply because their walk now keeps up with the run of the utterly exhausted prey. The whole pack spreads wide, gradually closing into a ring around the staggering prey. Not one rushes in. They merely hold their formation and wait patiently. Then the circle contracts, and the whole pack moves in together. The chase that stretched across the whole morning gives. The wild dog's jaws lack the power to use a big cat's method. In exchange, they have the coordination of the whole pack, the very thing that in Africa. The whole pack eats fast, gulping down each mouthful. They know the early wind is carrying the scent far and wide, and the scavengers will follow that scent to find this place. Sure enough, from the distant grass echoes a hoarse, rasping laughter. The hyenas have caught the signal. For their noses, a few kilometers is no obstacle worth mentioning. By the time the hyenas arrive, the pack has nearly finished eating. They deliberately pull back, yielding the leftovers to those who came later. To stay and fight over it only wastes strength, and their bellies are already full. Then the whole pack sets off for home, crossing the sun-drenched grassland, their bellies far fuller than when they left. At the end of that journey lie the den and a set of tiny mouths. The food just gulped down is now brought back up for the pups. The reward of a chase over 3 kilometers long has become the lunch of the next generation. The meal over, they lie down to rest around the den's mouth, touching muzzles. This is how they bind the pack together, and also what lets them coordinate so seamlessly out on the grassland. At this same moment across the Serengeti, other packs are running too, changing shifts and holding their own formations across the patches of grass. In the den, the new lives are still a very long way from knowing how to run the long distance. But their first sneeze one day will be a vote for the hunt. In the scorching heat, a cloud of dust rises steadily from the earth. The cause is a set of long, curved claws digging down, working relentlessly without pause. A stocky body, a stripe of silver-white fur running the length of its back to the tail. Those tiny eyes look out at the world with the indifference of something that takes no one seriously. That is the honey badger, the most notorious troublemaker in this territory. Today, it is hungry, and when hungry, no fence and no venom can hold it back. The wet black nose sweeps the ground, picking up a scent of sweetness rising from below. Deep down, there is a beehive, and the badger has already decided it will dig it out no matter what. The front claws are as long as a finger joint, curved like 2 sharp sickles. They drive into the dry earth and hurl everything aside at a speed that leaves anyone watching stunned. Digging deeper and deeper, the claws finally strike what it was searching for. The hive is ripped open, and an entire furious cloud immediately erupts and covers the badger's head. Against skin that thick, 1,000 stingers might as well be scratching. It does not bother dodging even one. In fact, it digs with even more energy than before. The hive is torn apart, but what it lunges for first is the wax. Inside are packed larvae, pupae, and young bees, the rich protein it craves most. The name honey badger is actually an interesting human misunderstanding. Seeing it destroy hives, people assumed it loved honey, when what it actually wants is the larvae. It sits down and chews with complete composure, as though dining in a fine restaurant. The furious bees still swarm overhead. To it, to it, they are nothing but background noise. But there is one thing it has forgotten. That sweet scent is drifting on the wind. And on the savannah, any fragrance that travels far guides uninvited visitors. Following the sweetness, a baboon ambles into the clearing. It stops before the compact badger, well aware of its own superior size. Without growling or threatening, the baboon simply reaches out and shoves the badger to the side, then calmly sits down to dig at the wax, as though it is the rightful owner of this hive. The honey badger circles to the rear and bites straight into the intruder's backside. The baboon leaps in shock. The culprit finishes biting before bothering to announce how displeased it is. The baboon grabs a handful of its back, only to find itself holding thick, loose skin. From inside that skin, the badger rotates its entire body and bites back into the hand gripping it. The baboon grabs the tail, pins the shoulder, pulls the leg. Yet the badger slips free from every hold like a slippery bar of soap. 12 kilograms of stubbornness push the baboon to its limit. What terrifies the baboon most is that those jaws, once they bite, refuse to let go. The more it struggles, the tighter the grip, like a vice with a grudge. In the yellow grass, a dappled coat shifts forward slightly. A leopard watches the brawl with focused attention, amber eyes locked on the baboon. In the space of one breath, the leopard is in the middle of the dust. Its jaws close around the baboon's neck and lift the unfortunate creature like picking up a bag of dry hay. And yet, the 12-kilogram body chooses this exact moment to cause trouble. The badger drives in behind the leopard, bites down hard on the tail, and pins it to the ground with its full weight. The leopard twists and shakes hard, but whatever is clamped to its tail sticks like glue. The badger climbs onto its back, driving bites into vulnerable spots, each one tightening further. Finally, the leopard opens its mouth, drops the baboon, and bolts. It abandons the best meal of the day just to keep its own body intact. The baboon scrambles upright and flees in a panic into the distant undergrowth. It will never know that the creature that just saved its life was the same one that bit it moments before. The entertainment over, the badger wanders off at an unhurried pace to find something else to do. Beneath a dense clump of grass, both front paws begin digging again, dust rising steadily as before. With no sense of the world's dangers, a young monkey edges closer. It grabs the tip of the badger's tail and gives it a tug, and the badger keeps its face in the dirt and keeps digging. The tail is yanked a second time. The badger only shifts slightly sideways without looking up. It turns out the notorious troublemaker sometimes knows when to let things pass. Then that hand reaches out a third time. The last of its patience has run out. The badger snaps around, jaws closing neatly around the young monkey's neck as it blinks in bewilderment. A high-pitched cry rings out, carrying to every corner. For baboons, the sound of a child in distress is a command no one is permitted to ignore. The entire area suddenly shakes with thundering footsteps. Dozens of gray-furred bodies charge in from every direction, tightening into a circle with no gap left. The badger picks the largest one and drives straight at it, jaws clamping hard around its wrist. For one moment, the entire troop hesitates before those unblinking little eyes. But courage always comes easier in a crowd. They surge from every side, and though the loose skin lets it twist and bite back, it is not enough to save it this time. The honey badger lies motionless, teeth still bared as though still defiant. The troop drags the body up onto a dry branch, leaving the blood scent to quietly guide the next arrival. Not far away, a golden head rises above the grass line. A lioness draws in the scent on the wind, then walks unhurriedly toward the scene of the finished fight. She bends down and finishes off the leftover meat. No stalking, no chasing needed. Here, strength sometimes lies not in the strike, but in simply showing up. But the scent of blood has never summoned only one. From a distance, rounded heads rise, noses pointing in the same direction. Spotted hyenas move straight toward it, shoulders rolling high, stride steady. No circling, no hiding, because their numbers say everything that needs to be said. The lioness raises her head and counts the shapes tightening in. Alone against a clan, she does not need long to calculate where the balance tips. She chooses to step back, leaving the meal to the larger group. Nothing on this land belongs to anyone forever. Then the lioness releases one long, low growl that carries across the entire grassland. The grass to the west stirs, and then a dark mane appears in the late afternoon light. The male lion steps forward with full authority, as though this entire grassland has always been his. The hyena clan breaks and scatters across the grassland. Only one young one stays and keeps snarling. The dark mane descends faster than any calculation could account for. The hyena manages one retaliatory snap before being pinned to the ground, and the victor walks away without touching a single piece of meat. Across the entire savannah, thousands of these changeovers are taking place right now. And at this very moment, somewhere in the open grass, a new thief is busy digging away. And it all began yesterday afternoon, when the ill-fated one was still roaming alone. Instead of being wary, it fixed a provocative gaze on the massive elephant herd in the distance. Since leaving its pride, it had consecutively brought down slow-aging prey. Once it even brazenly seized a carcass right under a solitary hyena's muzzle. With each prey that fell, the illusion of its own strength added another layer. It forgot it was only a growing creature, mistakenly believing itself already master of this land. Before it, the elephant herd slowly crossed by. Young ones nestled, crowded in the middle. A seasoned hunter would have moved away, but not this one, eyes locked on the smallest calf. Then it walked straight toward the elephant herd like a solitary figure marching into an army. Steps steady, eyes glued to the young one, it ignored the massive mother elephant standing right beside. Lion launched toward the young elephant, standing isolated at the edge. Mother elephant immediately spun around, but it didn't retreat at all, stubbornly holding its ground with blind confidence. Mother elephant pivoted, one pillar-thick foot came straight down, onto the lion's back. Tons of weight crushing down made its body sink deep into earth, spine-shattering vertebra by vertebra. Done, the elephant herd calmly stepped onward, leaving the carcass behind without bothering to look back. Sometimes self-delusion is precisely what sends an animal to its grave fastest. But power delusion is only the first dark corner of animal psychology. Not far away, two cheetahs of the same bloodline and age carry completely opposite fates. The first named Coco, wearing gleaming sleek fur, belly round and full after a hunt. It chews slowly, gaze calm, because no fear has ever accompanied its meals. Complete opposite is Ghost, gaunt to the bone, rough coat, also just brought down prey. Yet it can't eat in peace. Every time it lowers its head, it immediately snaps back up, eyes darting everywhere. Just then, afternoon wind carried a string of hoarse laughter from afar. That hyena pack had not at all spotted the two cheetahs or scented the meat. They were only calling each other out there. Coco only flicked an ear briefly, then lowered back to chewing, unconcerned by distant sounds. But Ghost, hearing exactly that sound, had already sprung up, abandoning the entire meal, eyes flooded with fear. Without hesitation, Ghost bolted away, leaving the prey it just brought down lying on the grass. It went a full kilometer away, though the hyenas were in the opposite direction, not approaching at all. Right as it fled, muscles tensed on Ghost's shoulder, old wounds clearly visible. Those are traces of a terrifying prey theft from the previous year, imprinting obsession into its mind. This was the third time this season it abandoned a meal because of vague sounds. Hunts well, but rarely gets to eat full, because every meal for it hovers with lurking danger. Sure enough, a lone hyena sauntered over, leisurely consuming the portion Ghost left behind. It was more than capable of chasing that one off, but wasn't foolish enough to trade its life for one bite. Eating its fill, Coco rolled over, sleeping soundly under the afternoon light lingering on the grass, while Ghost lay hollow-bellied, curled far away, bitterly watching the hyena take the final bite. Same bloodline, equal in build, yet fate split in two by one single obsession. Just as the entire land sank into stillness, the east suddenly rang out with a long, mournful howl. That was a wild dog's howl, but not the signal calling the pack to hunt. Only the sound of one solitary one, weakening with each beat, the sound of one seeking its pack while no one answers. That young hunter stood stranded amid tall grass, ears raised, eyes sweeping around in panic. Just because it lingered a few minutes when the pack crossed the thicket, it had lost track of the entire family. Being a species almost entirely dependent on pack, wild dogs fear solitude greatly. The moment separated from kindred, its mind falls apart, unable to maintain clarity. So it bolted off in all directions, swerving one way, then cutting another without finding anyone. Those chaotic running circles didn't bring it back to the pack, only widened the distance. Calls grew fainter with the panicked creature's broken breathing. Ironically, on bare open grassland, those who heard it clearest were hunters rather than its own kind. Hearing those sounds, a lioness lying nearby immediately pricked ears. In her eyes, the young dog, stranded without pack protection, was no different from a meal delivering itself. It little knew every rescue call was inadvertently inviting death closer. In the western grass patch, a pale yellow shadow silently parted grass, advancing, smooth and utterly deadly. When the predator revealed itself fully, instead of bolting, it should have, young dog stood rooted. Extreme panic paralyzed its reflexes, turning it into a motionless statue. Hunter launched decisively. Everything ended in just one instant. Young one's life extinguished right on the grassland, only a few hundred meters from its own pack. As sun paled, the wild dog pack tracked signs, finding where the young one fell. After nuzzling the last fading warmth, they raised heads, howling a farewell. Farewell song not yet faded, earth beneath the dog pack's feet began trembling and rumbling. Not the footfall of elephants or lions, but seismic force from countless hooves. The entire northern horizon darkened to murky, seeming like clouds, yet being countless animal bodies. That was the great wildebeest migration flooding southward. Each year, over 2 million follow reins, wandering for new grassland. Blocking that journey is the Mara River, with its steep banks and lurking crocodiles. One leading individual stopped startled right at the steep bank, hesitating before a fierce current. Behind, the million following had no idea, kept pushing forward relentlessly, pressing them toward the edge. Weight from behind kept surging. Those at front didn't plunge in of their own will. They were shoved by kindred, while those doing the shoving were themselves pushed by the layer behind, impossible to hold back. One by one, they tumbled headlong off the rock bank, plunging headfirst 2 meters into the water. Then a second, third, then an entire long chain poured in one after another because those behind wouldn't stop. Momentarily, layer upon layer of animal bodies crashed down, tier stacking on tier. Those below suffocated under weight. Those just surfacing were immediately pushed under by the next arrival, river section resounding with bellowing. Below, the crocodile pack barely needed to expend effort hunting. Prey kept tumbling off the cliff face above, offering themselves right into gaping jaws, waiting ready. Cruelly ironic, right nearby was a gentle sloping bank leading gradually down to water. That spot was completely deserted, not one breaking from the flow to go there, because the frenzy had swept everything away. Entire herd reaching the riverbed struggled climbing up the other side, but that was also a steep reverse slope. Hemmed in between two sheer cliff faces, they trampled over kindred, finding no way out. Only much later did the migration flow thin out, last one splashing across, then reaching the far bank. The cruel truth was, most deaths today came from crushing and trampling, not at all from the reptiles below. Despite the stretch of river left in chaos behind, surviving animals continued south. Behind, another million creatures were advancing, the next day again converging on the same old cliff edge. Evening descends, Mara River flows slow, well-fed crocodiles lie savoring. On the bank, vultures pick at portions, waves washed in, water quietly carries surplus downriver. On the cliff face, morning's hoof mark gouges still hold their impressions. Water below has settled crystal clear, yet to the north, dust clouds already billow, signaling a new wave of migration. At the gentler bank nearby, zebra herd leisurely lowers heads beside calm water. No one would guess this spot just this midday was still thundering hooves and bellowing wildebeest. But right beneath that clear water, A just satiated crocodile's eyes still quietly watch upward. It lies motionless, pressed near the water surface, gaze never leaving the muzzles dipping low. This noon, a herd of Thompson's gazelle graze idly, tails flicking at flies. The plain, silent as glass. 100 meters off, several round heads lie low in the grass, eyes locked on the herd. They are not lions, but bear black lines from eye to muzzle like the tracks of dried tears, the mark of the fastest runner. This is July, a coalition of brother cheetahs from the same mother. The leader, named Sabi, presses himself low and slips through the grass, while the others spread to either side. They form no circle, only wait to cut off the angles for when the panicked prey breaks and bolts. All at once, Sabi bursts out like a bolt of lightning, hitting 100 kilometers an hour in just seconds. His forepaw hooks the prey down, his jaws lock onto the throat. The prey goes limp. The whole coalition lies collapsed beside the carcass, chests heaving fast. For that sprint has burned away all their energy. Their bodies need a few minutes to cool before they can eat. The moment they recover, the group gulps down their meal in haste, glancing in every direction. No big cat has its prey stolen as often as the cheetah, so for them, to eat fast is to eat it all. Bellies full, they settle side by side on a mound, tongues gliding over a companion's ears. For cheetahs, those grooming licks are the very glue that binds the band of brothers. When finished, Sabi pauses by an acacia trunk, leaving a streak of urine to declare his claim. The others scatter too, sending their own scent marks into each bush and small mound at the edge of the territory. Patrol done, they lie back on a high rise, casting their eyes across the grassland. To the south, gazelle are grazing. To the east, impala flit in and out, all within a territory of a few square kilometers. Toward evening, the wind shifts and the leader snorts in alarm. A strange scent, not gazelle, not hyena, but heavier, sharper, more menacing. It's a lion. The whole group springs up, looking into the wind. At the edge of the tall grass to the west, a golden shape looms closer. The steps too light, the body too slender. A lioness, sure enough. She walks alone, worn and weary, her frame far outmatching any single cheetah. After days of failed hunts, her hollow belly drives her toward wherever the prey is thickest. The uninvited guest calmly sets foot in the hunting ground, not bothering to hide. She crosses the grassland, sending the whole herd of gazelle jerking their heads up and backing away in fright. On the high rise, the cheetahs watch helplessly as their familiar prey scatters. That stranger hasn't so much as lifted a claw, merely passed through, yet her pungent scent alone has been enough to sweep away all their prey. In the middle of the hunting ground, she lowers her body to stalk, eyes fixed on the impala. The lioness is a pride's main hunting force, and now her empty belly only fans her resolve into flame. The whole coalition glares, watching the intruder hunt in the heart of their own territory. Sabi flattens his ears, eyes narrowing. His younger brothers press closer to him than usual, silent as glass. A few powerful strides bring her right up to the impala. She slams her massive body down to pin the prey to the ground, then clamps its throat tight. The cry chokes off, and the raw stench of blood spreads, sending the gazelle to the south into panic, retreating a few stretches farther. The whole hunting ground grows sparser, all because of one scent. She eats at her leisure, not glancing about like the cheetahs, for she is the strongest one here. But a single lone impala is nothing to a belly gone hollow after so many days lost from the pride. She lies right there beside the pile of bones. For a strong loner with nowhere to shelter, wherever the prey is plentiful is a place worth lingering a little longer. As the sun slants low, the whole area is empty of prey, for the lion's scent now lingers everywhere. The gazelle have withdrawn far off. The impala have melted into the grass. Before the coalition, the grassland lies bare, not a shadow of prey. The cheetahs lie in wait a stretch from the intruder, swallowing hard as they watch her sleep. The morning was peaceful, yet by evening an outsider has seized their patch of hunting ground. Sabi exchanges a glance with his two comrades, a silent agreement. The morning's contentment has vanished, giving way to frustration. When the source of their survival is threatened, even the cautious turn reckless. Then the leader springs up and moves toward the sleeping stranger. No haste, just a steady pace across the grass. His comrades fall in behind, each on a different heading, 10 meters apart. Hearing the footsteps, she lifts her head to see the cheetahs closing in from all sides. She stays lying down, used to cheetahs avoiding confrontation, but it is strange to see them advance of their own accord. She heaves up, snarling, a low sound rolling across the plain. The roar that once cowed every hunter now means nothing, for the cheetahs keep circling, always beyond her reach. In a flash, the leader darts across right in front of her muzzle, then swerves sharply aside. The lioness's claws swing out and strike only empty air. A powerful swipe, but slower than the cheetah's turn. From behind, a comrade rushes in, then vanishes the instant the stranger wheels around. A moment later, another appears at her opposite flank, sending her spinning in circles, bewildered. Turning this way and that, the lioness grows more exhausted, while the cheetah band has yet to tire. That massive muscle shifts direction heavily, while the light ones keep toying with her at ease. Furious, she chases the leader, but within a few steps, she flags as he cuts away and pulls far ahead. The moment she turns, two comrades close in, harassing her without pause. She twists to bite, misses, and roars, then lunges again only to snap at empty air. Over 100 kilos of muscle become useless, for the cheetahs slip away before her claws can reach. Panting hard, the beast halts and watches the group circle without rest. She realizes that to stay is only to be harassed endlessly, striking forever without landing a blow. She turns to leave. But then, after a brief moment, the beast suddenly wheels back around, hurling one final lunge with all her strength. Her target is the leader, the cheetah, just a beat slow to react. At that very instant, the whole band pounces in together. One flashes across before her muzzle as a lure. Another strikes from behind her back, leaving the lioness spinning too fast to find her bearings. At last she stops dead, gasping and spent. Before her, the cheetah band still patiently toys with her. The fight has cost far too much strength for no reward. Quietly, she gives up. This time, she leaves for good, her steps far more hurried, not bothering to look back. Behind her, the coalition holds its formation until the beast disappears entirely. The whole band nestles close to Savvy, tongues brushing gently over the bleeding wound. For cheetahs, grooming one another is a bond of affection that has run deep since birth. On the wind, the intruder's scent slowly fades. To the south, the gazelle warily return to their familiar grass as the lion's smell dissolves. The prey comes back, and with it, peace. Before long, another gazelle drops right on the same patch of grass as before. This time, no lion's scent lingers to spoil the group's meal. The July brothers gather around the carcass, body against body, beneath the setting sun. For them, to eat on their own territory is worth far more than a wound along the flank. At the western edge where the lioness slipped away, that scent has not yet faded. She has learned this place holds plenty of prey, and the land is good. She will not forget this rich hunting ground. A cheetah runs up, lowering head, sniffing the small, motionless companion lying on grass. No response, only wind blowing through spotted fur and silence enveloping the grassland. In the distance, two yellow shadows remain there, one individual bearing full injuries. On the plains, no victory is priceless. 2 hours earlier, early sun just touched Masai Mara grassland, and wildlife's rhythm began awakening. Under acacia canopy, a cheetah group rests with cubs. This is Zuri's family, one of Masai Mara's largest coalitions. Cheetahs are the planet's fastest big cat, speed reaching over 100 kilometers per hour. But in exchange is slender body and weak bite force, creating disadvantage in direct confrontation. Therefore, cheetahs typically form sibling coalitions, hunting and defending territory together. And Zuri's family has many adults, a rare number, strong enough to control wide territory. But even that coalition cannot protect cubs continuously. Individuals under 6 months still have high mortality rate from lions, hyenas, and birds of prey. This morning, 3 adult males left the group hunting, leaving females to protect 2 cubs, force reduced, and risk immediately increased. 2 cheetah cubs are playing with rabbit carcass. Mother brought this morning, pulling, shaking, and pouncing each other. They play about 30 meters from acacia, completely losing vigilance. On empty grassland, distance becomes weakness. Group lies under tree canopy, leaving 2 cubs exposed within perfect range for opportunists. To the east, about 200 meters away in tall grass, a solitary lioness on patrol has detected movement. It lowers body, focusing completely on 2 separated cheetah cubs. Lions don't hunt cheetahs for food, but to eliminate competing rivals. This behavior is common, helping reduce future resource pressure. Distance gradually closes. Lioness creeps low, nearly invisible, while two cheetah cubs still play absorbed, not yet experienced enough to recognize threat. 20 meters. Lioness compresses muscles. Hind legs press earth. Under tree canopy, an adult cheetah raises head, scenting danger, but already too late. Lioness bursts into speed, 140 kilograms charging through low grass. Two cheetah cubs panic, running two directions, but legs not fast enough. One immediately caught in lioness's jaws. Remaining cheetah cub rushes toward two adults, caught individualized still. No response, as lioness stops and turns, head facing charging group. Lioness doesn't retreat. It moves, holding cheetah cub like living shield, facing adult individuals growling with message. Advance further, cub will pay price. Two adult cheetahs advance few steps, then stop. They recognize the stalemate, when mass difference makes direct confrontation nearly hopeless. But cheetahs don't fight with strength, but with tactics, continuously distracting and dividing pressure from two sides to lock lioness's reaction rhythm. Harassment tactics begin. One advances forward, growling, drawing attention. Others circle behind, exploiting blind spot, forcing lioness to spin, continuously defending. Lioness gradually loses control, simultaneously holding prey in jaws while defending two sides, cannot roar or counterattack, locked in disadvantageous position. One from behind lunges, clawing lioness's flank, then immediately retreats. Lioness whips around, but gap has shifted direction while another continues closing in. After many minutes of harassment, lioness gradually exhausts from continuous spinning, jaws tired from holding prey, and calmness replaced by rage. And that's what cheetahs are waiting for. When lioness loses control, it must attack and release jaws, self-opening the mistake tactics aim for. Cheetah from behind lunges again, clawing deep into lioness's back, wounded through fur layer. Lioness roars, turns body in rage, and moment jaws open, cheetah cub falls. Lioness doesn't release from mercy, but because counterattack instinct overwhelms holding prey, immediately shifting to direct confrontation. An adult cheetah rushes to where cub just fell, lowers checking, but small body no longer responds, completely motionless. And that moment changes everything. It carries cub's body away. Eyes go cold, pack instinct fully activated. Right then, three adult cheetahs hunting return, abandoning prey immediately and charging straight back to group. Adult individuals converge, completing formation. First time lioness faces entire coalition. Cheetah group surrounds completely, eyes unblinking, bodies lowered. Force balance tilts decisively, and lioness recognizes this. Tactics upgrade. They take turns moving, forcing lioness to continuously spin left, right, behind, but every direction blocked, making encirclement increasingly tight. Attack strikes begin intensifying. Each one lunges clawing, then withdraws immediately. Not fatal, but eroding stamina through each defensive spin rhythm. Lioness roars and counterattacks, but misses. Each lunge makes it lose more strength, while opponents always stay out of reach. 10 minutes pass. Lioness gradually slows, swipes weaker, body turns heavier, and distance compressed from 5 meters down to 2. Encirclement tightens each beat. Claw marks thicken across body, not fatal, but enough to gradually drain strength. First time, Lioness lowers center of gravity, shifting to defensive stance. Cheetah group recognizes the change. When the strong begin defending, battle has reversed. Attack rhythm increases, pressure pushed even higher. But battle will stop there. On Masai Mara, no creature is completely alone, and Lioness is no exception. Earlier roar has echoed farther than Cheetah group's calls. Ground trembles slightly. From the east, a deep, heavy roar tears through plains, bringing massive yellow shadow charging, dark black mane, rippling muscles, answering the call and advancing straight into battle. Cheetah group immediately flees in unison. Balance completely shifts. What they dared do against exhausted Lioness, one miss, cannot apply before two powerful hunters. Male lion stands beside mate, not roaring, not pursuing, only silently staring straight at Cheetah group, and that presence enough to close the battle. Cheetah group backs away. No more attacking, no more encircling. When coalition faces coalition, bene. They cannot defeat two lions. Afternoon sun descends on Masai Mara. Male lion lies licking wounds for lioness. Claw marks will heal, but lesson remains. The strong can still be eroded by numbers. And cheetahs also carry their own lesson. Coalition can erode solitary lioness, but cannot win when male lion appears. Each survival layer has limits. On this vast plain, conflict between lions and cheetahs occurs nearly daily, an arms race lasting millions of years. But today is exceptional. Rarely do cheetahs dare ambush, pressing lion into defense. Zuri's family transcended instinct, attacking the stronger. Price of ambush clear on both sides. Lioness weakened, requiring rescue. Cheetah group lost cub, a future link in Zuri's family, never given chance to mature. In nature, all behavior aligns with survival instinct. Lions eliminate potential rivals, while cheetahs protect next generation. No good or evil exists, only selection and consequence. Abandoned cub carcass will quickly attract vultures, insects, and microorganisms, initiating decomposition process, an essential link in nutrient cycle. Zuri's family begins stabilizing. Adult individual surrounding, cub at center, shielded, minimizing separation risk to maximum. Two lions still there. Lioness rests lying down, male stands guard beside. They'll return to territory tomorrow morning and continue patrol. At conflict point, grass gradually stands back up. Blood seeps into earth, first scattered by wind. By tomorrow morning, traces will nearly vanish, only a few strands remaining. Survival on plains is problem without answer. Strength beats numbers, numbers beat individual, then coalition defeated by larger coalition. Somewhere on Masai Mara tonight, Zuri's family will lie close together under starry sky. Entire group will surround remaining cub in defensive formation. Evening wind blows across Masai Mara, carrying scent of wet grass and earth dust. Claw marks on lioness's back have dried, while cheetah cub carcass gradually covered by ants, all traces fading with time. But lesson not erased. Lioness becomes more cautious when facing large cheetah groups, while Zuri's group keeps cubs close to formation, each side accumulating experience from their own scars. As last light leaves Masai Mara, planes sink into invisible sounds, where just 1 second of carelessness can trade for irretrievable loss. The price for those who start conflict sometimes is those who must pay most dearly. Dawn over the Grumeti River, early daylight paints the murky water surface golden. Thin mist rises, landscape quiet, even a small movement becomes obvious. On the sandbar, overnight traces tell what happened. Footprints going into water, then returning, but also streaks going only one way. The river is the only water source in dry season, but also the boundary between life and death. This morning's flat surface guarantees nothing about what's below. On the other side of burnt grassland, hundreds of wildebeest advance toward the riverbank. Red dust rolling with footsteps, low calls echoing far, thirst forcing them to approach despite risks. They're Africa's largest migratory species. With millions of individuals moving seasonally, the river becomes the most dangerous challenge on the journey. Bodies adapted to grasslands, long legs for running, curved horns for goring, but underwater they lose advantage and become vulnerable. In dry season, the herd must drink water daily, no other choice. Thirst draws them to the riverbank, though always knowing danger hides below. The herd stops about 10 meters from shore, intently observing the water surface. No one dares step forward first, because instinct warns pioneers rarely return. Thirst overwhelms fear. A large male steps down first, water rising from hooves to knees. It lowers, head drinking hurriedly. Each second head down is a second losing vigilance. Seeing the male safe, the entire herd moves closer. Vigilance quickly decreases as thirst overwhelms, creating the most dangerous moment. Less than 4 meters from shore, 2 pairs of eyes have been waiting. Motionless, patient, they track each step, waiting for prey to enter inescapable distance. Prey in range, the male lowers head to drink, muzzle touches water. Less than 2 meters from crocodile jaws, countdown begins before the attack. To understand the danger right before eyes, one must look at the creature hiding at the bottom since before dawn. Species virtually unchanged for 200 million years because the design was perfect from the start. Nile crocodile, reaching 5 meters long, weighing over 700 kilograms. Bite force, exceeding 3,700 pounds per square inch. Strongest among all animals living on Earth today. Its tactic is lying motionless, lowering heart rate, conserving energy, waiting for prey to approach on its own. then lunging extremely fast, locking jaws and dragging underwater. After locking jaws, crocodiles perform the death roll, spinning body to tear prey. If not dead yet, it drags deep down, letting water complete the rest. This morning, the male wildebeest lowering head is only 2 meters from crocodile jaws. Sensory organs help it receive vibrations, determining prey position without needing to see yet. Only 1 meter remains. Crocodile tightens tail, parts jaws, while wildebeest lowers for one more final gulp, completely unaware that's the last peaceful moment. Water surface explodes. Crocodile lunges up, clamping tight on prey's head. Tremendous bite force locks rigid, heavy body, jerking wildebeest down into the water. Herd panics, running upshore, dust billowing thick. Only the trapped male held head underwater, 4 legs thrashing hopelessly, cries choked between mud and waves. Crocodile begins death roll, body coiling underwater, but wildebeest still resists, hind legs gripping bottom, trying to hold against violent spinning force. The spin isn't strong enough to bring down large prey. Crocodile changes tactics, stops spinning, and drags wildebeest toward deep water, where legs can't touch bottom and all advantages vanish. Wildebeest resists fiercely, hind legs kicking bottom, maintaining position. Head gripped, but body still above water surface. Each second still breathing is each second nurturing hope of life. Adrenaline surges. Wildebeest jerks hard, pulling crocodile towards shallow water. Nearly escaping at times, head surfaces, eyes wide open, gasping breaths echoing amid the water. But crocodile won't release. Jaws locked tight, begins pulling back. Wildebeest slips footing, loses grip point, gradually dragged back to deep area. The tug of war tilts toward water. Water rises to neck, then to head. Everything ends when legs no longer touch bottom. Wildebeest dragged under, river surface quickly returns to flat calm. On shore, wildebeest herd stands silently watching the river surface. No calls, only eyes fixed on where their kind just disappeared. Heavy atmosphere enveloping. Underwater, crocodile drags carcass to deep area, securing to tree roots. It doesn't eat immediately, but lets prey soak for days to soften, then tears gradually. The river just took a life, but the entire herd's thirst remains unchanged. And the Grumeti River is the only water source within 20 kilometers radius. 2 hours later, the herd returns to riverbank, steps slower, keeping distance farther. No one dares lower head drinking too long, though thirst still urges. They take turns drinking water. A few lower down, the rest vigilantly observe. Each small ripple also makes the whole group flinch back warily. Below water surface, another crocodile has positioned, smaller and lying close to shore. Blood scent from the previous attack still spreading, silently attracting more predators. Water surface explodes again. Crocodile lunges up close to shore. Jaws snap down, nearly hitting wildebeest's leg, but misses, making entire herd rush upshore in chaos. No one caught, but the attack shows the river isn't safe at any distance. Crocodiles control even the water's edge, where the safety boundary is thinner than wildebeest thought. Herd stops 50 meters from river, breathing heavily. eyes glued to water surface. Thirst unresolved, midday sun rising high, making dehydration increase rapidly. Another half hour passes. Thirst again defeats fear. Herd advances toward river, choosing new position 100 meters further upstream, where bank is gentler and water shallower. They don't know crocodiles also move. Beneath murky surface, they silently drift, following herd upstream, like invisible shadows. Herd begins drinking. Only a few go down to water's edge. The rest stand guard. A female steps deeper, seeking clearer water, inadvertently advancing exactly into crocodile ambush position. The largest crocodile lunges up, jaws locked tight on female wildebeest's neck, fatal position near blood vessels. Bite force piercing through skin and flesh, holding prey unable to escape. Tug of war begins. Female wildebeest's legs still touch bottom. It kicks hard, trying to pull crocodile back towards the shore. Because only losing footing, all advantages will vanish. Battle lasts in over 4 minutes, rare with crocodiles. Female wildebeest still resists, continuously kicking, pulling, and keeping head above water to breathe. Second crocodile suddenly appears from behind, biting the rear. Two pulling forces in opposite directions make prey torn between heavy bodies. Wildebeest still resists, but third crocodile charges in, biting near head. 3 directions pulling simultaneously make it lose footing and drag completely off river bottom. Female wildebeest dragged under. Water surface churns then settles, foam spreading long with current, closing the battle as river swallows another life. Blood scent spreading in water attracts more crocodiles. 5, 6, then 7 heads emerge, converging on one point. Wildebeest carcass becomes collective feast, uninvited. On shore, wildebeest herd stands silently watching the reddened river surface. No signal needed, they understand. Then turn backs, leaving, abandoning this water point to find elsewhere. Grumeti River always flows, crocodiles present everywhere. No safe place, only places not yet attacked, and herds still must drink before dark. That's the law. To live must drink. To drink must come to river. Each approach is accepting risk, trading between thirst and life. Evening descends. Water surface returns to calm. Midday traces swept away. Vultures circle, but don't descend. Because the river has kept everything. Underwater, well-fed crocodiles lie scattered, heart rate slows. They can fast long, but still wait, following millions of years of survival instinct. Upstream, herd finds shallow section to drink. They only lower quickly for seconds, then retreat. Drinking style carrying survival nature, no more peace. Each attack deepens instinct. Next generation will fear water more, drink faster, keep distance farther, increasing survival chances through passed down memory. And crocodiles also evolve. Next generation more patient, lying closer to shore, waiting longer, because prey increasingly vigilant, and only the most patient can hunt. Dusk covers Grumeti. Water shifts from blue to deep red, this time from skylight. But that beauty conceals danger as light gradually weakens. Wildebeest herd retreats deep into grassland, resting at night, sleeping standing vigilantly. Tomorrow morning, when thirst returns, they'll hesitate before the river again and step down again. In nature, life always comes with trade-offs. Wildebeest need water, crocodiles need prey, and the river connects these two needs in daily survival loop. Night blankets, grumetti, frog calls echo along shore. Hippos call amid stream. Water surface shifts to another world where new dangers continue unfolding. On river bottom, crocodiles lie motionless, conserving energy. Though resting, sensory organs still operate, ready to react to any vibration. Night wind blows along grumetti. Water surface ripples lightly under moon. Blood traces washed clean, sandbar flat and calm. By morning, no traces remain of what occurred. Moon rises high, river still flows as for millions of years. Water surface flat, calm, beautiful, and inviting. But the question each prey must answer each morning remains unchanged. Drink or not drink, live or not live. Midday sun blankets the plains. Heat makes the air shimmer slightly. No breeze, no cloud shadows. Only silence stretching to the horizon. Amid the grassland, a zebra herd grazes, occasionally raising heads vigilantly, then lowering again. Peace here is always the most suspicious signal. Not far away, amid this uniform yellow-grass sea, an anomalous form blends completely into the environment, motionless and nearly impossible to recognize. That's a lioness, lying flat less than 5 meters from prey. On the plains, the most dangerous thing isn't the echoing roar, but the silence. Africa isn't where the strongest rule, but where the best hidden survive. Biological camouflage is the supreme weapon of assassins. Lions are large cats living in prides, but most hunting activity belongs to females, individuals who directly approach and bring down targets. Tawny fur is the result of natural selection, helping the body blend into grass, minimizing risk of detection before attack. When approaching prey, lionesses lower their bodies flat to grass level, moving extremely slowly, just enough not to create clear movement signals to prey. And they always approach against the wind, keeping body scent behind. This is technique accumulated through many hunts, not just simple reflex. Pack hunting turns them into perfect coordination machines. One group blocks ahead, one group chases, forcing prey to charge straight into ambush. Lionesses have been in position since before dawn. The zebra herd is very close, but doesn't detect them. The invisible encirclement has closed, waiting for the activation moment. An individual separates from the herd, stepping into the gap between two ambush positions. Yellow eyes track each footstep of prey. Claws press lightly into ground. Lions from behind accelerate, forcing prey to run in predetermined direction. Escape reflex actually leads it into more dangerous territory. Individuals ahead simultaneously lunge out, blocking direction and closing in. The entire sequence unfolds in seconds, ending an ambush prepared over many hours. The zebra herd scatters and retreats. Lionesses stop. Target achieved. On the plains, initial distance matters more than final speed. But lionesses aren't the only assassins. When evening descends, another predator begins activity. A solitary hunter even lions are wary of. Leopards are masters of camouflage. Spotted coat not only helps hide, but also breaks up body outline, making prey struggle to recognize shape. In complex lighting conditions, this mechanism allows predators to be present right before eyes without being detected in time. Operating mainly at dusk and night, it exploits darkness plus soft paw pads to move with almost no sound. And leopards can drag prey heavier than their body up trees, turning canopies into safe dining places beyond reach of other species. Unlike pride-living lions, leopards hunt alone. Solitude helps reduce sound and signs, maintaining absolute advantage of surprise. This evening, an antelope stands under a tree base, head lowered, grazing. Its reflex scans both sides but completely ignores overhead. On high branches, the leopard lies motionless, observing and calculating. Everything stops at a moment waiting for prey to step exactly into approach range. The antelope doesn't realize at all. Above, the leopard lowers itself, claws grip tree bark. Muscles compress like springs, then release. The leopard lunges down. Front legs seize the antelope's neck. Jaws lock tight upon touching ground, making prey unable to react. In only a short time, the leopard drags prey up the tree and disappears into the canopy, erasing all traces on the ground. Lions disappear along the ground plane. Leopards disappear vertically, but both are still limited by the ground, while another danger exists where prey must approach. The Okavango region's largest river enters migration season. Thousands of wildebeest gather at the bank, hesitating before the calm water surface, where death hides invisibly. Nile crocodile, reaching 5 meters long, weighing 700 kilograms. Right now, almost absent. Only eyes and nose protruding, the rest blending into murky watercolor. Rough gray-brown skin, matching river mud, helps it hide completely. It lies motionless for hours, waiting for prey to step into attack range. Bite force over 3,500 pounds per square inch, strongest in the animal kingdom. And reaction speed occurs so fast, prey cannot respond. Thousands of wildebeest begin flooding into water surface churning chaotically. They must wade across, though knowing each step carries risk. Water surface suddenly explodes. Crocodile jaws clamp tight on the nearest wildebeest's hind leg, then drag prey, disappearing into the water in seconds of silence. Multiple attack points occur in short time, breaking formation. Pressure increases as individuals struggle to escape the water area. Individuals reaching shore stop to look back at the gradually stabilizing river surface. Only stillness remaining, concealing death below. Three assassins, three different camouflage types. When placed in the same ecosystem, we see three completely separate strategies. Lionesses camouflage horizontally, blending into grass and using pack coordination to drive prey into kill zones. Leopards camouflage multidimensionally, exploiting tree canopies and patterns to erase body outlines, controlling both ground level and heights. Nile crocodiles camouflage absolutely, hiding underwater, patiently waiting for prey to step into range. Their common point, not relying on speed but on patience, camouflage, and ability to shorten distance until prey cannot react. But on the Okavango savannah, the three assassins' territories often overlap. The same zebra herd can face all three in one day. Prey maintain continuous vigilance. Head down, eating for seconds, then raising to check. But when opponents have camouflaged, detection becomes uncertain. And that's precisely the survival paradox. Evolution enhances prey senses, while simultaneously optimizing predator concealment ability. Evening descends on Okavango. Zebras who survived the morning ambush are advancing toward the riverbank, slower, more vigilant, and no longer separating from the herd. They stop far from shore, a few lower to sniff grass, then immediately raise heads. Morning's lesson still imprinted in reflexes. The lead individual advances first, scanning river surface and both banks, checking even the dangerous upper layer before stepping forward, only then allowing the entire herd to advance. The zebra herd drinks in rotation rhythm, half with heads down, the other half observing. No longer moments when the entire herd loses vigilance. Below water, crocodiles have positioned, but distance is kept farther than usual, conditions insufficient for effective strikes. The herd leaves the bank immediately after drinking, not lingering. Quick decision helps reduce time exposed in risk zone. They stop to rest on high ground, standing in a circle, eyes facing all directions. New vigilance behavior formed after just one morning. In sparse forest, an African rock python lies motionless, coiled under a rotten tree trunk. Body pattern blends into tree bark, camouflage based on shape and color. Or a black mamba slides on tree branches, blending into dry branch color, so fast and silent only detected when already too close. And on the dry grassland surface, an African chameleon is changing color to match environment, continuously transforming to blend with surrounding background. On the African plains, every spatial layer has those hiding, all operating in silence. The zebra herd stands on high mound, choosing open place to rest at night. Long visibility, few concealment points, minimizing ambush risk. Evolution doesn't favor the noisy, but favors those controlling appearance timing. Right moment, close enough, and effective. But it also rewards memory. After morning's loss, the zebra herd is vigilant enough to survive the afternoon by the river, where crocodiles cannot strike. Night blankets Okavango in 3 spatial layers. Countless predators are lurking, and countless prey are moving in the same system, repeating a cycle existing very long. And the question each prey on the plains faces daily isn't, are there predators here? Because the answer is always yes. The real question, the life or death question, is much simpler. In grass, in trees, or below water, right now, where is it? Afternoon sun pours into the Luangwa River Gorge, murky yellow light illuminating vertical rock faces covered in damp moss where space is suspiciously silent. A few kingfishers dive to the water surface, then dart up, only wing beats echoing in the gorge's quietness. Everything else seemingly motionless. On the cliff edge, a lion pride stands close together, heads bowed observing, eyes not on the water, but focused on the individual in danger. Below, among smooth rocks near the water's edge, a lioness struggles to climb up, claws gripping the surface, but continuously slipping, getting closer to dangerous waters. Lions are large cats dominating many of Africa's dry ecosystems. With male lions weighing up to 180 kilograms, they top the food chain wherever they reach. But all those advantages are designed for flat terrain. On steep, slippery rock surfaces, features once advantageous become disadvantages. The lioness weighs about 130 kilograms, pulling her own body up the sloped face. Gravity quickly overwhelms pulling force, making efforts extremely exhausting. She fell while pursuing prey over the cliff edge, a small miscalculation leading to a long slide, placing her in a life-threatening situation. On the bank, the lion pride still observes. A low roar rings out, but no individual descends, because they know this rock face is a one-way trap. Below, the female tries to grip again. Front legs find footing, but the surface is unstable, pushing force insufficient to hold the body, and she slides down again. Distance to water surface continues closing. Current position not only disadvantageous in terrain, but also conceals another danger. A small ripple spreads from downstream, not from wind, not from current, but a sign of a creature slowly approaching. The lioness recognizes immediately. Eyes lock onto 2 black points floating on water surface. Alarm, instinct activates. Sounds emitted carry obvious tension. Two black points motionless like rotten logs gradually surfacing. But hidden below is a 4-meter body. The real danger has appeared. And it didn't come alone. Ripples appear from different directions, all heading toward the same point, the cliff base where the lion clings. To understand the danger below, one must know that the creature patiently waiting has existed millions of years, with body structure evolved optimally for hunting. Nile crocodiles reach 5 meters long and weigh over 700 kilograms, and possess bite force among the strongest of animals still existing on Earth. Their tactics rely on ambush, lying motionless for hours, then attacking extremely fast, optimizing energy and ensuring high success probability. After locking jaws, crocodiles drag prey underwater and perform the death roll, inflicting serious damage, and prey quickly loses resistance capability. They can fast for months. Each meal is a long-term investment, so when there's opportunity, they'll thoroughly consume prey. On the rock face, the lioness understands the situation clearly. Above is an unclimbable slope. Below is enemy territory. Now she's trapped between two threats. She moves horizontally along the narrow rock strip, seeking climbable points, each step carefully gripping wet rocks, eyes not leaving water surface. Each step is hope, but also risk. Below, the crocodile pod maintains stable distance, moving parallel. They're not rushing to approach, only maintaining position and waiting for more favorable conditions. The lion discovers a lower section of cliff, but must cross a 2-meter wide shallow water stretch, a short distance, but full of risk. She suddenly lunges down, racing quickly across the water. And in the same moment, a crocodile surges up. Jaws snap shut right where she just been left, only one beat late. The lion grips rocks on the other side, struggling to pull herself up. The crocodile watches from behind underwater. This time escaped, but terrain on this side still slippery and steep, no easier at all. She continues climbing short sections, then sliding down again. Each time losing momentum, position gets closer to water surface, and safe distance gradually closes. The third slip makes hind legs touch water. The lion flinches, jumping back up, but too late. A crocodile lunges, jaws reaching for hind legs. The lion roars, concentrates force on front legs as anchor points. Shoulder muscles tense, resisting overwhelming pulling force from water surface. The struggle increasingly intense. The crocodile bites and slips. The lion escapes. The lion springs onto the rock strip, breathing heavily, while the crocodile sinks, carrying anger. The lion gradually tires and cannot stay in one place long. For crocodiles, that's a signal. They adjust positions, tighten encirclement, distance only, meters remaining. The lioness has no choice left. Cannot climb up, cannot stay. Survival space shrinks by the minute. She moves faster, abandoning fear. Each step, each short leap utilizing every remaining foothold on the slippery rock strip. The crocodiles no longer wait. They simultaneously surge up when the lion crosses the narrow water section, jaws snapping shut consecutively in splashing water. The lion reaches the final rock outcrop. Ahead is the only gentle bank, but separated by a deep water section, while predators have closed in from behind. She looks at the shore, looks at the water surface, then looks at three shadows closing in and jumps down. Four legs touch water. The lion begins swimming as fast as possible toward shore. Distance gradually from shore, legs still touching bottom. But behind, crocodiles are accelerating. The largest submerges, disappears. This is the most dangerous moment. The lion nearly reaches shore. Front legs grip earth, pulling body up, but injured hind leg lacks strength, making her slide down, and that's all the crocodile needs. From behind, a crocodile surges up and locks jaws onto the rear section. Massive pulling force jerks the lion back into the water. The second crocodile immediately lunges in, clamping tight on front shoulder. Two pulling forces from two directions make the lion sink half submerged. Only head and one front leg protruding. The death roll begins. Lion's body dragged completely under. Water surface churns violently, then gradually settles, returning to initial calm. Water surface returns to stillness. No more sounds or movement, only a few small ripples fading on the surface. The grassland ruler has sunk from here. Above, the lion pride stands silent. Calling sounds echo down, no response. Only wind blowing through the gorge echoes back. After several tries, they fall silent. After a few minutes, one by one, leaves the cliff edge. They leave without looking back. On the plains, prolonging loss is also putting oneself at risk. Below the Luangwa River, crocodiles drag prey to the deep bottom, holding it for natural decomposition process before beginning the meal. Nile crocodiles can fast for months, and today's meal is a 130-kilogram lioness, enough to feed them for many weeks. The confrontation closes according to environmental law. When entering water, advantage belongs to water-adapted creatures. On that territory, all land advantages lose value. The lion pride loses a member. Movement rhythm and behavior will change in following days, reflecting adjustment to risk. Dusk arrives. Landscape returns to familiar state, leaving almost no clear traces of the event just occurred. The lion pride stops to rest in tall grass area, far from the river. They lie closer together, the gap of one individual becoming obvious in the silent formation. Each encounter leaves marks in blood. Later decisions will change through reflexes formed from experience. Below the river, crocodiles continue moving slowly. Eyes, nose protruding, then sinking back. The observation cycle and endless patience count again from the start. In the Luangwa ecosystem, lions and crocodiles share the food chain apex, each species dominating half the world. When boundaries are erased, advantage belongs to the side adapting better to conditions at that moment. Each rainy season, water rises. Dry season water recedes. Boundaries continuously change. Encounters repeat. No permanent winner, only temporary adaptation. Today's lioness didn't fail from lack of strength. On land, she's the ruler. But when conditions change, mass and body structure itself become disadvantages. Conversely, crocodiles don't need to be faster or stronger in all circumstances. They only need the right environment, where their advantages are maximized. Sun sets over Luangwa. On shore, lions rest in tall grass. Below water, crocodiles hide. Two parallel worlds, meters apart, but deciding survival. Tomorrow morning, though one individual fewer, the lion pride's rhythm doesn't stop. They'll avoid the riverbank, continue hunting on grasslands, and remember dangerous boundaries. Night wind blows through the gorge, carrying scents of mud and damp grass. Traces on rocks gradually disappear. Bank edge returns as before. Nature erases what once occurred. Under moonlight, crocodiles hide in flat water. In a world where mistakes mean endings, silence sometimes is the sign of danger itself. A long, dark shadow glides past the base of a tree, then vanishes. It has just slipped beneath the canopy of an Asian tropical rainforest. And at the end of that silent glide, another creature is about to run out of any chance to escape. Black, metallic sheen scales slide across a bed of decomposing leaves. A forked tongue continuously samples scent molecules, guiding the king cobra toward its prey through the dense, humid forest. While most venomous snakes hunt rodents, the king cobra dominates the food chain by preying on other snakes, including smaller cobras within its own territory. From South Asia to Southeast Asia, across India, Thailand, and Indonesia, millions of square kilometers of humid tropical forest stretch beneath nearly year-round heavy rains. High temperatures and humidity create ideal conditions for the king cobra, the longest venomous snake on Earth, to reign over the tropical forests of Asia. It can exceed 5 meters in length. A broad diamond-shaped head, black scales with a golden metallic sheen. It is not the largest snake, but it is more dangerous than any snake ever recorded. Its primary weapon lies not in muscular strength, but in its extraordinary ability to locate prey with pinpoint precision through chemical signals and ground vibrations. With each flick of the tongue, millions of scent molecules are transferred to the Jacobson's organ, allowing the brain to construct a detailed chemical map of the entire surrounding forest. A few dozen meters away, a small python was still slowly slithering across the layer of decaying leaves, unaware that its every movement had already been locked onto from the darkness. The king cobra raises its forepart and holds its body motionless. The forked tongue continuously checks chemical signals to precisely calculate the attack distance. It lunged forward. Its 5-meter body shot out like an arrow released from a fully drawn bow. The smaller python had no time to turn its head before the upper jaws struck the fragile scales along its neck. 2 fangs, each over a centimeter long, pierced through the thin scales. Neurotoxic venom is injected directly into the body and rapidly spreads through the circulatory system. The toxin quickly paralyzes the central nervous system, severing the control signals between the brain and muscles. Breathing begins to fail almost immediately. The king cobra widens its jaws. The skull joints flex apart, opening a gape far beyond normal limits. From the head, the prey begins to be swallowed slowly and precisely. Scales slide down the throat, a body nearly a meter long gradually disappearing into the darkness, leaving behind only a faint drag mark on the ground and a thick, heavy silence. In the wild, king cobras typically live alone. Each individual controls a wide hunting range to reduce competition for food with others of its kind. But in the dry season, as water sources dwindle and prey becomes scarce, even the most firmly respected territorial boundaries begin to collapse. Two king cobras come face to face on the same trail. Both recognize that the food source ahead is too valuable to retreat from. Forebody raised high, the king cobra flares its hood. They coil around each other, pressing the opponent's head toward the ground, a sign of tension before a true fight for survival. The wrestling match can last many minutes, but when one side is exhausted and loses the ability to resist, the line between rival and prey sometimes disappears entirely. The larger one pins its opponent's head to the ground before delivering a bite. Fast, precise, directly to the neck region. Resistance fades with each passing second. When the sun sets, only one individual leaves the trail, its body visibly distended. For the king cobra, being the same species carries no privilege whatsoever. But even the cannibal is not invincible. Within the same forest exist creatures that cannot be subdued by venom, and that can bring down even a king cobra. The mongoose, sharing the same forest, possesses lightning-fast reflexes and a nervous system with acetylcholine receptors that reduce the impact of snake venom. The honey badger is equally renowned for its thick skin and high pain tolerance, allowing it to engage venomous snakes with an aggression few other species dare attempt. But the greatest threat does not come from the ground. It comes from a direction for which the king cobra has almost no evolved defense mechanism. As it glides into an open clearing, the canopy above has already been watching in silence for some time. Over 20 meters up, a pair of yellow eyes has long since locked onto its target. The crested serpent eagle is in no hurry. It waits for the moment the prey's body stretches out fully. Wings open wide, spanning nearly 2 meters. The dive unfolds in absolute silence. No beating of wings, no warning, only the air torn apart. Curved talons lock onto the neck and midsection. Each talon over 5 centimeters the ground. In the air, the king cobra loses every foothold needed to orient a bite. Its body thrashes through open space, every attack mechanism rendered useless. In the Asian tropical rainforest, position in the food chain is always shifting. Even apex predators can become prey under unfavorable circumstances. The king cobra plays a vital role in controlling reptile populations. A decline in their numbers can alter the ecological balance across many tropical forests. When smaller snake populations grow unchecked, the predation pressure on ground-nesting birds, amphibians, and insects shifts accordingly, affecting the entire ecological chain. But not every king cobra ends up in an eagle's talons. Some females live long enough to enter a remarkable breeding season. Unlike most snake species, the female gathers dry leaves and uses her body to coil and push them into a nest mound nearly half a meter high, a rare nesting behavior among snakes. Eggs are laid within the decomposing plant matter. Heat generated by the decomposition process helps maintain a stable temperature throughout embryo development. The female typically remains near the nest for several weeks, minimizing foraging activity to protect the eggs from predators and environmental fluctuations. Even as another individual was taken by an eagle moments before, the female continues to guard the nest. The instinct to preserve the lineage operates independently of any surrounding event. In the Asian tropical rainforest, life runs on competition, predation, and constant adaptation. No species stands outside the ancient laws of survival. The king cobra is not a symbol of cruelty. It is the product of millions of years of evolution in an environment where a single mistake typically means death. Today's hunter may become tomorrow's prey. And tomorrow, there will always be another species standing one rung higher in the same ecological cycle. The forest continues its motion in silence, needing no audience, needing no name, only the cycles of survival that existed before us and will continue long after us all. From above, the East African savanna appears as an endless golden canvas, where the shadow of large wings glides silently in parallel with a dark streak moving close to the ground. Beneath an acacia tree, a pride of lions rests after a meal. Bloodstains still ring their mouths, completely unaware of the brown eagle circling overhead and gradually lowering its arc. Under the low grass nearby, a black mamba nearly 3 meters long slides across a trail, carrying in its fangs enough venom to kill 10 grown adults. The eagle suddenly folds its wings and dives, talons driving straight into the mamba's midsection. Wind screams through the feathers as the large shadow rapidly covers the grass below. Talons pin the target to the red dust. The mamba immediately coils in resistance, whipping its head around at extreme speed, its venom-loaded fangs ready to strike. The mamba tightens around the eagle's wing, locking it in place and leaving the eagle thrashing helplessly as the venomous fangs continue searching for an angle on the neck. The eagle pecks repeatedly into the snake's body, but each strike only causes the mamba to tighten further. Two bodies roll across the red earth, dust billowing in clouds, feathers and scales tangling together. The sound of the violent struggle causes the lion pride to raise their heads. Two females rise and move slowly forward, curiously watching the cloud of red dust rolling up along the trail. One lowers its muzzle toward the brawl. The mamba immediately releases the eagle's wing, rears its head high, spreads its hood wide, and lets out a loud hiss of warning. The lioness stops, It recognizes that what stands before it is not prey, but a venomous threat. The mamba slowly slides out of the red dust and disappears into the low grass. The eagle snaps upright, spreading wings that are now slightly misaligned. Both lions still stand nearby as it fans its neck feathers and opens its beak in warning after the life or death struggle. The two lions advance no further. The eagle quickly gathers itself and labors heavily off the ground, circling once before fading into the rising thermals above the savannah. Beneath the low grass, the mamba has vanished, leaving behind a patch of earth that even the top of the food chain chose to avoid. In the end, all three species walked away. No true winner, only creatures that understood survival sometimes matters more than continuing the fight. Far from the red patch of earth, a secretary bird, nearly 1.3 meters tall, strides across the blazing grassland, its scale-armored legs ready for snake hunts across the ground. For this bird, the legs are the weapon, thick scales resistant to venom and kicks of tremendous force, moving steadily through the dry grass in search of the next prey. Ahead, a cobra nearly 2 meters long slides across open ground. The secretary bird immediately halts, lowers its neck, and holds a safe distance. The cobra quickly rears up, spreads its hood wide, and opens its mouth in a threat display. But the secretary bird only steps slowly sideways, forcing the snake to rotate with it. The snake suddenly lunges forward, but the moment its body is fully extended, a strike like a thunderbolt drives straight into its midsection, slamming the cobra down onto the red earth. On the next attack, the secretary bird again leaps backward at the right moment and delivers a reverse kick into the oncoming head, sending the snake staggering. By the third exchange, the cobra is slower. A kick straight down to the top of the head sends the snake's body thrashing across the ground, unable to raise its neck again. The secretary bird delivers a few more decisive kicks, then picks up the cobra's body and walks on across the grassland, as though the hunt just completed was nothing more than a routine part of the afternoon. It will continue sweeping through the grass until dusk, using its long legs and patience to bring down one snake after another with precise strikes. The sun-scorched grassland belongs to those who hunt from above. But to the west, among red rocks and scorching thorn bushes, another snake hunter appears, one that works at ground level through pure speed. A semi-desert stretches with cracked red rock and scattered cactus, as a small shape darts through the gaps in the stones so fast that the dust has not yet risen before it is gone. That is the roadrunner, a bird that hunts with long legs, a tail like a rudder, and a ground speed exceeding 40 kilometers per hour rather than wings. Ahead, a desert snake slides across open ground. The roadrunner spots the prey and immediately changes course, driving straight toward it without slowing. The snake quickly coils into a defensive posture, but the roadrunner simply circles continuously, forcing the opponent to keep changing direction until the movements of head and body begin to fall out of sync. The snake's strike misses. The moment its head extends forward, the roadrunner has already looped behind it, driving its beak hard into the back of the neck and slamming the snake's body against the red rock. Keeping the prey gripped in its beak, the roadrunner repeatedly slams the snake's body against the rock until the entire body goes limp and stops responding. Right where the chase ends, the hunter begins eating its prey. Each portion of the snake's body disappears between strong jerks and steady swallowing. On this arid land, the window of survival is always brief. Just minutes ago, a living creature was finding its way to survive. Now it has become the energy source sustaining another life. Across the savannah and semi-desert, each bird hunts in its own way. One uses talons, one relies on the force of its kicks, and the roadrunner depends entirely on speed. Every snake hunt between savannah and semi-desert is a gamble, because just one successful bite from a black mamba or a cobra is enough to end the hunter permanently. The eagle survived that morning because the mamba's fangs glanced off the thick neck feathers. Had they pierced the skin, the venom would have brought it down from the sky within minutes. For the secretary bird, the leg scales are the final line between life and death, because if the cobra could reach the unprotected thigh, the outcome would be entirely different. The roadrunner is different. No armor, no grip strength, only raw speed. Every loop around the snake is a bet of its life for the sake of its young. The brown eagle perches on a dry branch, wings pressed to its body, waiting for the bruised muscles to recover after the struggle. Further out in the afternoon grassland, the secretary bird still paces slowly through the yellow grass, knowing snakes are most active as temperatures begin to fall. Across the semi-desert, the mother roadrunner continues driving through the scorching rock crevices to find food. And beneath the acacia tree, the lions still lie there. And every time the wind stirs the grass ahead, they immediately raise their heads and look toward the place where the mamba once disappeared. Tomorrow, the eagle will circle the sky again. The secretary bird will step through the yellow grass, and the roadrunner will continue racing through the red rock. But the snakes will continue to exist as well. The race between talon and venom has no finish line, only the next round. When the last ray of sunlight leaves the savannah, the mamba still slides silently through the wind-stirred grass, fast enough and venomous enough that no one wants to cross its path a second time.